Hello, welcome to Storehouse 7 Ministries with me, Chris Wickland, and today we're working through Revelation chapter 13, and this is episode 2 on that series. So let's recap some fundamental important clues from the previous podcast that we need to pay attention to. So firstly, excuse me, the beast which comes out of the sea is not a bear, but a leopard with bare feet and a lion's mouth. Because remember last time we looked at a lot of people saying this is Russia, it's the great bear, but actually the description of the beast isn't a bear at all, it's a leopard with bare feet and a lion's mouth. Secondly, the sea represents peoples, multitudes, nations and tongues, because this beast rises out of the sea, and we got the prophetic cipher for this beast from Revelation 17:15, or what the sea represents rather. Thirdly, the 10 horns represent 10 powerful kings or political rulers. Fourthly, the beast itself is a king and kingdom, and we understand this from Daniel 7:17. Again, we looked at this all in the last podcast, so if you don't really know what I'm saying here, please listen to episode 1 of chapter 13 to get a full recap on this. Because what I'm doing now is I'm just going over what we went through last week, so when we move on you won't go, what does that mean again? Okay, so we know from Daniel 7:23 to 27, this is the 5th point, that the beast and kingdom will be unlike anything ever to have appeared before, so it's unique and special. Sixthly, the beast brings persecution to the saints. See verses 7 of chapter 13. And lastly, we understand excuse me, that the 7 heads of Satan represent a geographical location of 7 mountains, and we get the prophetic cipher to this also from Revelation chapter 17 verse 7. So now with that recap, let's move into Revelation 13 verse 3, and it says, I saw on one of his heads as if it had been slain, and his fatal wound had been healed, and the whole earth was amazed and followed the beast. Now, it's not clear here if one of the heads belongs to the dragon or the beast, as we don't get a description here in Revelation 13 of the beast having multiple heads like the dragon does. However, the effects and results are the same. The people of the world are amazed and follow the beast. Now, many commentators have surmised what the fatal wound could be and what it possibly represents. There are several interpretations, but none of which we can really be sure of. We can only surmise. One popular theory is that it symbolises the resurrection of the Roman Empire that has long gone and been buried. If this is true, then it means not just the resurrection of a political system, but also a financial system linked to a religious system of emperor worship. Without the worship of the emperor, you wouldn't have been allowed to buy, sell, or even live. It needs to be made clear that in the book of Revelation, atheism also doesn't exist, because worship of the beast will be enforced upon all mankind, whether they like it or not. Now, this needs to be considered when we're looking at current timelines and are trying to see it in the context of biblical prophecy. Atheism is rampant here in the West, thanks to the nonsense of evolution and Big Bang universe theory. But the world in the book of Revelation knows that there is a God, and many hate him. And until we see a massive shift away from atheism, we are still not yet at the end of days. Remember, atheism means one doesn't believe in the existence of a God. Big G or little g. In the book of Revelation, people have to choose either the Antichrist or the actual Christ. There is no room for anything else. A second theory about the fatal head is that the Antichrist leader does actually die, and like Jesus the Messiah, he too rises from the dead, to the surprise of all, and through his geopolitical, financial, religious system, hence 666, many fall for him being some kind of mystical being or mystical Messiah and follow him. Again, the results are the same as the resurrection of the Roman Empire system. There will be no atheism, and the rise of emperor worship will come to the fore again, as it did in the original Roman Empire. Another theory is that it is not the resurrection of the Roman Empire, but actually a resurrection of the Babylonian Empire. Now, there's a lot of biblical grounds to endorse this from Old Testament apocalyptic books, such as Daniel, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, etc. Again, like the Roman Empire, we have the worship of man. Under the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, everyone had to bow down and worship his statue at certain times of the day on the threat of death if they didn't. To my way of thinking, there are more parallels to this third theory in the Bible than the resurrection of the Roman Empire. Now, I could be wrong on this, but personally, I think we will see the Middle East become the next world superpower in the future. Now, at the time of the date of this series, so today is March the 10th in the year of our Lord 2022. At this time, obviously, we have a lot going on in the Middle East, but as of yet, there's no real major big superpower out there. But I personally think that Babylon will become, which is the resurrection of Iran coming to the fore, of Iran being the major world superpower, which at this time seems not a possibility. So there are so many interesting parallels here. For example, talking about parallels about it could be a Middle Eastern Antichrist rather than it being someone who's European. So there's so many interesting parallels here. For example, from Jacob came 12 patriarchs, yet from Ishmael came 12 princes. If the Christ came from the 12 patriarchs, maybe the pseudo-Christ, which is what it says in the Greek for Antichrist, pseudo as in false or fake, then it could be that as the Christ comes from the 12 patriarchs, that maybe the anti or the pseudo-Christ comes from the 12 princes of the Arab nations. Now, there's a lot of modern day scholarly information that is leaning towards that the Antichrist could likely be Middle Eastern, and the empire of Babylon, which is still long dead, will arise again to be the superpower of the world. But whatever happens in the future, it will be something that will make the nations be in awe and follow the beast, as it clearly states in Revelation 13:3b. And the whole earth was amazed and followed after the beast. This is probably the end-time delusion which Paul writes about. In 2 Thessalonians 2, verses 9 to 12 says, "This man," talking about the Antichrist, "will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. He will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction, because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. So God will cause them to be greatly deceived, and they will believe these lies. Then they will be condemned for enjoying evil rather than believing the truth." Revelation 13:4, "They worship the dragon because he gave his authority to the beast. And they worship the beast, saying, 'Who is like the beast, and who is able to wage war against him?'" As I've already mentioned, in the days ahead, atheism will be a luxury of the West, long abandoned at the end of days. The world will worship the dragon, i.e. Satan and his pseudo-Christ, and speak blasphemous titles of worship over him as, "Who is like unto the beast?" Compare that blasphemous statement with Revelation 5:13, which says, "And then I heard every creature in heaven and on earth and under the earth and in the sea. They sang, blessing and honour and glory and power belong to the one sitting on the throne and to the Lamb forever and ever." It's from the New Living Translation. We must never blaspheme the Spirit of God or the Father or the Son by attributing something to Satan, when all the praise and glory should go to God and to him alone. Revelation 13:5, "There was given to him," this is the beast, "a mouth speaking arrogant words and blasphemies, and authority to act for 42 months was given to him." This beast is given two specific powers at this time of the tribulation. He is given a mouth to speak arrogant words and blasphemies, and he is given authority to act in power for 42 months, i.e. 3.5 years, and it will be the last 3.5 years of the tribulation that will be the worst, for in that time the pseudo-Christ, the Antichrist, will be given power and authority the likes no natural man has had on the earth up to this time, or up to that time. He will have power, he'll have the power of speech and blasphemy. He will be a powerful orator with a satanic anointing behind his words, and this will be allowed and permitted by God in heaven, but only for a short time. Daniel chapter 4 is very clear that it is God who allows kings to be raised up, some kings to bring blessing and others judgment. Daniel 4:17 says, "This sentence," which was a sentence of judgment upon Nebuchadnezzar, is by the decree of the angelic watchers, and the decision is a command of the holy ones, in order that the living may know that it is the Most High who is ruler over the realm of mankind, and he bestows it on whom he wishes, and sets over it the lowliest of men. Daniel 4:37. And you, Nebuchadnezzar, will be driven away from mankind, and your dwelling place will be with the beasts of the field. You will be given grass to eat like cattle, and 7 periods of time will pass over you until you recognize that the Most High is ruler over the realm of mankind and bestows it upon whomever he wishes. So it is God that is permitting great authority to be unleashed upon the pseudo-Christ at the end of days. Now, one may ask, why? Why would God allow this? The answer to this is found in the scriptures. 2 Thessalonians 2, verses 9 to 12. The coming of the lawless one will be in accordance with how Satan works. He will use all sorts of displays of power through signs and wonders that serve the lie. And all the ways that wickedness deceives those who are perishing, they perish because they perish. No, it's not God doing this. They perish because they refused to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion so that they will believe the lie, and so that all will be condemned who have not believed the truth, but has delighted in wickedness. And that's the full quote from the NIV, 2 Thessalonians 2, 9 to 12. So in the end of days, there will be no middle ground, no grey areas, no sitting on the fence, no atheism, no agnosticism, no playing games. If you hate the truth and love wickedness, you will be handed over to a strong delusion, and you will serve Satan and his pseudo-Christ and the miracle worker, i.e. the 666 system, the unholy trinity, and you will be led to destruction by your own lusts and your own wickedness. It will be as in the days of Noah, where people will not want to hear about the end of the world, and many will simply not relent and repent, for they love darkness more than the light. And thus they, not God, will send themselves into eternal perdition and destruction. They will knowingly choose hell over heaven, Satan over Jesus, death over life, curse over blessing. There is no place for the false teaching of universalism here, i.e. that's where Jesus saves everybody, because Jesus won't save everybody. Why? Because not everybody wants to be saved. They want to revel in their lusty desires of the flesh and soul, and would rather literally worship Satan over God. They will literally, insanely choose the lake of fire than be in heaven with God. They will know the truth, they will see the truth, but instead would choose to believe the lie. Why? Because they hate God and all that he stands for and represents. Anyway, that's all we've got time for today. So until next time, God bless you, and keep studying the book of Revelation. Keep digging into it, keep reading and keep reading it. But also, please, add to your study of Revelation the Old Testament apocalyptic books like Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Daniel, Zechariah, all those great books. You want to be studying them also, because they are the ciphers that decode the text of Revelation. Okay, right, enough of me waffling on. God bless you all. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.